It is so crazy to me how many talented people right now are unsuccessful. Why? Because they're afraid to step out, be different, stand for something. Because people will say, oh man, come on, dude, that's not you. Yeah, you're right. That used to not be me, but that's me now. This is where the greatest advice I'll ever give you is, if you want to build something, you got to clone yourself. If you can't clone yourself, it's no good.
It's no good.
And that's how I built Elliott Army that we have today, is that I learned to clone myself. And so now I want to tell you this, I don't have the gift of gab. I stuttered when I started selling cars when I was 18. I was very insecure. I was embarrassed to talk to people. I had zero confidence. I'm made.
What's going on, my people? Welcome back to the It's Not Dead podcast, because it isn't dead. The American dream is well and alive. And I have the real proof right here. A friend of mine, Elliott. He's actually one of my customers too. You guys know I do solar. But he is the best sales trainer in the universe. Should I say universe or world?
Yeah, I think universe is cool. No, we are. We're brothers, but also, I always do business with my brothers, right?
Yes.
He did our house. It was a pretty big project, right?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
There's a lot of panels.
Yes. Well, welcome, man. Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Appreciate you being here,
man. You guys did
man.
a good job too.
Yeah, 100%.
It's hard to make my wife happy.
That's the most important thing, man.
Yes.
Happy
so if somebody
wife.
made my wife happy, I know you got a good product.
There you go.
So there you go.
That's amazing. Well, dude, again, super excited to have you here, man. I want to talk about fitness. I want to talk about family. I want to talk about God. But I really want to talk about your journey, man. I mean, really, what you think gave you always talk about having an edge, right? What do you think in your life, I guess, was your starting point to be able to have that edge and that change that kind of took you to that next level where it kind of, you just took off from there, Because a lot of people can see you there right now being super famous, influencer, you're jacked, bro. You have an amazing family. I mean, you have it all, right?
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, he just got lucky. Yeah. And we know that's not the case.
Yeah, there was definitely never any luck, but it wasn't always that way though.
Yeah.
I always say, be careful to compare your beginning with someone else's end.
Oh,
and I'm not saying that this is my end, but I'm saying like I made a decision, when I was 18 years old to get really good at sales. Okay. Now I was a leaderless 18-year-old that was good at sales, which I don't know that that's a good thing.
What made you, come to that decision? Like you're like 18 years old. You're like, I want to be.
Yeah, but the 39-year-old decision that I'm about to tell you about,
okay, go ahead,
is the guy that got it all.
Okay.
So when I give you the 18-year-old decision, the 18-year-old learned to make money and he found his way out of poverty, right? But since there was no leader around, the 18-year-old was a mess for about probably 20 years. Okay. And then at 39, I had another decision that I made. And so there's two big decisions that changed my life. So let me go through the first one. And number one, like just anybody watching this right now, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter where you are, whether you believe in God, I want to say this. The number one thing that I learned why people don't make it is because they quit. Okay. Yeah. And the biggest thing is, John, you've been through a lot of things to build the business you have right now. Yeah. You've been betrayed. You've let down. You've made mistakes. Yeah. Okay. Man, dude, it's never over. It's never finished. You just got to understand it's never finished. And as long as you're just aware of that, right? Like I see people commit suicide all the time. Yeah. I mean, you see people kill themselves, right?
It's horrible, yeah.
Dude, 2 days later, life would have been good. 2 days later, life would have been. I had a buddy when I was 20 years old. He killed himself. And he wrote a letter and I can't believe this, man. But he wrote a letter and he said, nobody loves me. I'm all alone. Dude, he had over 2,000 people show up at his funeral bawling. 2,000 people. He had all these people that were there, but it was just a bad day, man. It was just a bad day, and he quit. And he, I've had bad days, man. I've had days where I'm like, dude, I can't take this no more. But then the next day I'm like, I'm all fired up again and ready to go. It's like in those bad days, you just got to understand that like, it's just a lesson and it's something you need to go through and you're being refined by the fire. And so many people, if you want a big life and you say, God, test me, like I'm ready, I'm ready for a big life. I'm called for a big life. Well, he's going to put you in the fire and you can't be pulled out too early.
It reminds me of the game of Aji. I don't know if you know, the Japanese play this instead of chess. So what it is basically you don't win or you don't lose. You have, if you're winning the game, you have better odds that second of the game. Or you don't have good odds, right?
Yeah.
And you don't have good odds in that, basically that time of the game. But it's an ongoing game.
You're always figuring out how to increase your odds.
Exactly.
Yeah. So not quitting increases your odds.
Yeah.
Right. That's
Yeah.
it. And so anyways, but since I was born, my mom left when I was 2. So like, this is important because like a lot of people are like, dude, you don't know what I've been through. Dude, listen, my life has been the Jerry Springer show. Yeah. Okay. So whatever you did.
I know you've told me about it.
Yeah. But like whatever anybody did or someone did to you, because honestly, at the end of the day, I did a lot of bad stuff. And I had a lot of people do bad stuff to me. And at the end of the day, it's like, that's the patterns and the cycles that I lived until I was 18. Mom left when I was 2. Dad's been married 5-7 times, raised by kids, 18 years old, barely graduated school. Dude, no one was telling me like, hey, like pay attention, like become a good person, be nice to people. These are manners, like here's a curfew. There was no rules. There was no nothing. And so, it was a lot of street lessons growing up, right? But at 18 years old, life started to get cool. And one thing happened. I was over at my best friend's house, which we were nothing but troublemakers. And his older brother was in the car business. Now, listen, people may say, oh, you're a car salesman. Look, I really don't care about anything at this point. Whenever your life isn't where you want it to be, normally the thing that you don't think would be the thing that's going to be your way out ends up being the thing. Yep. I have a guy right now. He's a good buddy of mine. He's in the brotherhood with us. He's got a $500 million roofing company. Wow. He went to school to become a preacher. He went to college to become a preacher. Yep. And when he got out, he became a roofer. If you would have told him going through college, you're going to get out and become a roofer, he would have told you, no, I'm not going to be a roofer. Well, he is a roofer. Yep. And he has a $500 million roofing company and he invests in everybody around him. And he's a strong Christian. He's a business Christian man. Yeah. He thought he was going to go into church. And what he did is he went to the business field. So I want to tell you what happened to me. So at 18 years old, my best friend's older brother says, hey, I'll give you a job selling cars. And by the way, they hired anybody. So like, I'm anybody and I can just show up and then, either you work or you don't. Yeah, it's like, whatever. Yeah. And I showed up and he said you could make $5,000 a month. And by the way, if I made $5,000, I never held more than $5 in my hand, I would be rich. Because the only people who made $5,000 are people in the news, right? And I saw the newsman one day, like on Channel 4 News in Oklahoma, I saw him in a Burger King and I was like, oh my God, I just saw a millionaire. I mean, it was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen, right? I just remember my dad was like, there's the news guy. And we were like, oh my God, that guy, like what it was, how cool. I was starstruck. Like there's the guy on the news, right? And, But I went into the dealership and I got what was called a laydown. Yeah. Okay. And I know you know what that is because you're in sales. Yep. But that's where there's no skill involved. Someone was going to buy anyways. It doesn't matter who said hello to them. I knock on your door. Let's just say I sell solar. And I say, hey, we're here in the area. We want to talk to everybody about solar. And they're like, and they're like, oh yeah, I was actually just talking about doing that this morning. You're like, this is awesome. Well, let me go over it with you. And he's like, cool. When can we get it installed? You ever had someone here get something like that? Oh, yeah, 100%. And they come back in, they're like, dude, this job isn't hard. Yeah. Like I get a $1,700 commission my first day. Now I want you to know how this looks. So it's on the last day of the month. Payday's the next morning. Now there was something called the high gross spiff, which means the biggest gross in the company, the most profitable deal, paid $500 cash on the Saturday morning at the end of the month. And by the way, this is on a Friday. It's on the 31st, right? The next morning is on the 1st. So if I did make money today, I was going to get a check tomorrow morning plus the cash, which I don't even know what's going on. And I show up.
You didn't expect it,
I have no idea. I sold a car. I don't even know what's happening. My manager pages me to the tower and he says, Andy, do you know how much money you just made? And I was like, if I just made enough money to go eat a Subway sandwich, like I'm starving. I haven't eaten all day. Wow. And he goes, you just made $1,700. I'm like, I don't understand. What? He's like, you just made $1,700. He goes, by the way, tomorrow morning, we're going to give you a check for $1,700 because tomorrow morning's payday. So that's cool. Yeah. Also, you got the high gross of the month spiff. I'm like, what? No skill involved, no nothing. Kind of the guy. The deal worked out. They handed me $500 cash. I never had $500 cash in my life. You know what? I go, dude, I'm going to become the greatest salesman that ever lived on planet Earth. Now, this is where I was like, this is my way out. So I'm going to fast forward really quickly. My manager told me, he goes, Andy, you could make 120 grand a year selling cars. 18 to 19, I made 120 grand. I did exactly what he said. I worked from open to close. I didn't take a day off.
Yep.
I did everything he said.
You're grinding.
We practiced shaking hands in the dude. This is what he told me. I did everything that he said. He's like, this is the combination to the safe. There's $1 million check in it. I'm going to give you the combination. You're going to do it and you're going to get in the safe.
Yeah.
It was a very simple deal.
Yeah.
And he goes, you need to learn to master a stranger. You need to get good at shaking people's hands. You need to get good at getting people comfortable with you. Because I was not comfortable with this.
Yep.
Every day for 1 hour in the conference room, while everyone else was waiting to sell something, I was practicing shaking his hand. Hey, John, how you doing? Andy Elliott, nice to meet you. Hey, John, how you doing? Andy Elliott, nice to meet you. Hey, John, Andy Elliott, nice to meet you. Over and over and over. And dude, I got laughed at. People made fun of me. Dude, Andy's in there shaking hands again for an hour. Dude, my manager told me that was the play. No one runs the play. This is where I'll tell you, if you guys will listen to this podcast, you guys will learn. There's going to be gold nuggets that'll change your whole life. People tell people how they became great and no one does it because they want to do it their way, not the way that the successful guy did it his way.
And then the manager forgets too, because the manager also doesn't.
He forgot how he got there.
Exactly.
But he told me, he goes, dude, just do this and you're going to become really good. Yeah. So I made 120 grand. Then the next year, okay, from I think it was from 19 to 20, I made 225 grand. Now I want to explain this mindset thing real quick because it's important. Everybody has some kind of like cap, okay? How good of a shape I can get in, how happy I can be, how much money I can make.
Like a financial thermometer.
Just all things, you know. Well, this new manager, it always takes someone new, which is why getting new information every day is important, and why sometimes getting around someone who will coach you with a new way. That's why Kobe Bryant got with Tim Grover. Sometimes it's not
about the information, it's about who's there.
Kobe Bryant got with Tim Grover. Michael Jordan had an NBA basketball coach. He also added Tim Grover. Okay, these guys operated from a state of madness, and they wanted that edge. He told me, he goes, dude, I made 225 grand selling cars in Georgia. And I go, dude, that's not possible because my manager over here told me 120 grand was the money. And he goes, bro, and he pulled out his pay stub. Remember the glove boxes back in the day? Nobody talks about glove boxes anymore. That's like an old, you can tell our age when we say glove box. He pulled out his glove box, he grabbed his pay stub and he goes, look, 225 grand. And I go, oh, wow. And I go, oh my gosh. I said, you know what? That right there is going to change my life. Like that right there, that's going to change my whole life. Guess what happened? I did 225 grand the next year. I did exactly what he made. And I learned it's all here. Over the next year, I ended up hitting 500 grand selling cars, which was impossible in our industry. Even to this day, it doesn't happen. And I think the most I ever made selling cars in 1 year as a car salesman, not as a manager or moving up, was 716 grand. That was my best year to date. Now watch this. Now I'm going to pivot real quickly. Sales and leadership will get you rich. Now, I would tell everybody, look, stay in sales your whole life. Never move into management. Never move into management. Management is a demotion unless you're extremely passionate about building other people. See, because I made a mistake and I thought, okay, well, I'm the manager. This is cool. Managers make more than salespeople. Wrong. Dude, I literally went back to making 100 grand a year getting into management. Dude, you talk about an ego check. Oh my gosh. And then this is where the greatest advice I'll ever give you is, if you want to build something, you got to clone yourself. John, if you can't clone yourself, it's no good. And that's how I built Elliott Army that we have today, is that I learned to clone myself. And so basically everything that I did when I was selling, I had to be able to get someone else to do. Now, I want to tell you this. I don't have the gift of gab. I stuttered when I started selling cars when I was 18. I was very insecure. I was embarrassed to talk to people. I had zero confidence. I'm made. I wasn't born this way. So when people are like, oh, you got lucky. Oh, you're just like that. Or I'm not like you. Dude, I'm an introvert. But I have built a skill set that allows me to operate like when someone doesn't know how to shoot a gun. They get trained to shoot a gun. The next thing you know, they're a sniper. And then they're taking the kill shot. It's the way it goes.
It's people just a skill set,
Kobe Bryant was not good at playing basketball. Michael Jordan, he wasn't number one, but then he went back and he wrote the top 50 hit list and he took them all out one by one. These guys, they trained and they practiced until they became great. And so basically, I was great at selling, but I was horrible at being a leader.
Yeah.
I did 3 things. Number 1, I started to self-lead myself better. I started to take care of my physical fitness. I started to have a good attitude all day long. I came into the office. I made sure that I said hi to everybody. They say I met my manager. I could tell he was important, but I met the leader. I could feel like I was important. So I made everybody feel like they were more important than me.
Gotcha.
And what did they do? They worked for me for blood, sweat, and tears. So now that I've got the buy-in and I'm not their boss, which people work for a paycheck, now they work for me for blood, sweat, and tears. And people started to love me and I started to get that respect. Then they were forever indebted to me. Why? Because I started teaching them how to make money.
Yeah.
Okay. So I started to say, hey, when you shake someone's hand, here's what I want you to know. Hey, before you even go shake someone's hand, you got to have the best attitude in the world. So watch. Phone rings. Haven't even picked up the phone yet. Phone rings.
Yep.
What's your attitude like? It's got to be through the roof.
Yep.
Do you want that client, when you pick up the phone, do you want them to be in a buying state and buy? Yes or no?
Yeah, of course.
You got to be in a good mood.
Yep.
So step 1, when that phone rings, you got to be in a good mood.
Yep.
Okay. So I tell everybody, phone rings. What do we got to be? Everybody say good mood.
Good mood.
Okay. All right. Phone rings. What are we thinking in our head? They're going to buy.
Yeah.
Okay. What are we going to have? Delusional confidence, delusional belief. Who are we? We're the best. Okay. Listen to me. Do the customers know where you rank out on the sales board 1 through 50? Do they know when you pick up the phone?
They have no idea.
They don't know your rank. Okay. Hey, if you're the leader, if you own this company and you pick up the phone, do they know your rank?
Nope.
Do they know you own the place?
Nope.
No, you could be at the bottom and talk to them like you own the place.
Yep.
Every freaking time we meet someone, the way that we handle ourselves determines what they think that our rank is. I started to teach people how to become great when they were no one. And so what happened is we took a store that was selling 500 cars a month, took them to selling 500 a month. But I never had a leader, bro. I never had a leader. And I'm going to tell everybody something. This is the biggest pivot. Yes, I have a beautiful family right now. Yes, I'm a very good father. I'm present when I'm at home with my kids. I'm present at work. I'm present at the gym. I'm 45. I'm shredded. I'm lean. I wasn't always this way. I was chubby. You see my old pictures. I was very chubby. I was overweight. How did this old me lose my way along the way? I'm going to tell you why. This happens to every family. It will happen to every person chasing success along the way, unless there's a great coach and a great leader there to warn them of the traps of chasing success. Okay. I got with Jacqueline. She's 24. I'm 26. I promised her the ride of a lifetime. I told her we're going to build a big, beautiful life. We're going to have beautiful kids. Everything's going to be good. I'm going to give her everything she wants. That sounds great right now. As I'm going to work, I'm so obsessed with work that Jackie, I kind of get comfortable with her. I love her. I'm better than most. I don't cheat on my wife. On Sundays when I'm off work, I don't play golf with the guys. I'm at home with my family. Problem is I'm not present. I was always thinking about work. See, when at 18, when I started making money, I thought, man, I got to stay in this lane. This is my edge. No one's going to outwork me. No one's going to care about this industry more than me. And by the way, I still do that, but I started to put my family off to the side. And by the way, people are like, I don't understand. Okay, let me put it this way. When we talk about business, we get excited.
Yeah.
Okay, well, how many times do you talk about your wife with your buddies where people are like, man, dude, is your marriage on fire? You on fire? See, we're laughing. We're like, that sounds kind of stupid.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, who are you trying to please? If you were to get sick right now, who's going to be there to take care of you? Is it going to be your job? Is it going to be your wife? Yeah. Dude, you see? And dude, listen to me, man.
What's more important?
Women, they pour their cup out for the children. They pour their cup out for the husbands. They pour their cup out for the home. Yeah. And guess what they are? They never get anything poured back into them. And that was me with my wife, right? So at 39 years old, I did the sales thing, made a lot of money. I did the leadership thing, I made a lot of money. I was a W-2 employee in a car dealership from 18 to 39. Now, I almost got in big trouble, almost went to jail, right? And you say, whoa, almost went to jail? Yeah, run with the wrong people, it'll happen. There is a rule that everybody must realize. And some of you will say, nah, I'm not going to use that rule. Cool, you'll find out the hard way like I did. Never make decisions based off money. Never. John, guy comes in here and goes, dude, man, hey, I got this deal I want to do. Listen, man, there's a lot of deals that'll pay a lot of money. But dude, I'm telling you, you don't want to run with those people, man. You never know what you have with someone until they get pissed off. You never know what you have with someone until things go bad. And so you need to be real careful with, who you're going to go give all your time to and all your energy and everything to. And by the way, if you find the right person, go give it all to them.
Yeah.
But I didn't have good intuition on this. And I'm going to tell you what happened. This is, my wife goes, don't work for that guy.
Yeah.
He's not a good guy. But this guy was willing to pay me 2 or 3 times more than anyone else. And as the man of my house and taking care of my family, success always drove me. And I thought, man, maybe my wife's trying to nag me. Maybe she doesn't understand what I understand. You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, she's taking care of the kids. She's always been savvy at business, Jackie has, but she's taking care of the kids. It's my job to carry the family and hold true to the responsibility of the household. And she's like, I don't know. I don't like this guy. Instead of me saying, you know what, babe, if you feel weird about it, I mean, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to back out and we'll find it another way. We'll find it. We're going to find it somewhere, but I need you to be okay with where I'm spending all my time. And she told me, she goes, I don't like this guy. I don't like this guy. She said it so many times. I don't like this guy. And guess what?
You did it.
4 years later,
Yep.
I make a lot of money.
Yep.
I find myself in a tough spot.
Mm-hmm.
Almost end up going to jail. And you know, my wife said she saved my life. And everybody understand this. Whether you believe in God or not, the truth will set you free. She said, just tell the truth. Whatever you do, tell the truth. Everything you did, own every bit of it. We weren't trying to hurt anybody, but there are rules and laws to this world that a guy like me, uneducated, street smart guy, running hard, doesn't really understand this stuff, never been in trouble. I don't understand. Get yourself in trouble real fast running with the wrong person.
Yeah.
And I looked up and you see things and cases in all different areas where you're like, dude, like I wasn't aware. I didn't know that was that bad. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And there are people that will teach you and train you. You come work for me. I'm going to show you what is like law abiding, what you can do, what you can't do. And there's gray areas. You don't want to sit on the fence on this one. Well, the guy I went to work for was a complete fence guy.
Mm.
Okay. And by the way, like being raised in the car business, I mean, it is a leaderless industry.
Yeah.
Like, do you know, like 99% of the people that run car dealerships or own them, and I'm not being disrespectful to the car business. I love those guys. If it wouldn't have been for them, I wouldn't be where I'm at.
Yeah, for sure.
But they'll agree with me here that most of them have been through multiple divorces,
Yep.
have lost their families,
Yep.
have been addicted to drugs, have been addicted to drinking. They're not good leaders. They literally run through people left and right. There's no loyalty in them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that was the industry I was in for 20 years.
Yeah.
Hey, there are a lot of good dealerships.
Mm-hmm.
I trained 10,000 of them. But you know what? I wasn't ever lucky enough to work in one of them.
Yeah.
I always had the crap ones.
What pulled you out of that dark place when you're like literally all these things happening, right? I mean, you're
my wife. Yeah.
Your wife.
Dude.
Okay.
So this is where I'm going to go.
I mean, because bro, think about it. You know, like almost going to jail, bro. Like that's
well,
that's
no,
joke.
no. I'm going to say God. I'm going to say God, and I'm going to say God used my wife as the deliverer to pull me out. And I always tell people, I'm like, listen, man, your greatest weapon in your life is your wife.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you a big mistake I almost made, and then I'm going to go into how this all happened. But there was a time in my life where, you know, I was so focused on success. My wife was trying to warn me of certain things.
Yeah.
And I would say things like, you know, and I'm a good husband, right? I mean, I'm not running around. I'm there with the kids. I'm always thinking about work. Yes, I'm in the pictures, but I'm thinking about work in the pictures. I don't remember taking the pictures.
Yeah.
You know, I was better than most. Better than most is poison to good. But I just remember like my wife was trying to warn me on certain things, and I would be like, babe, stop nagging me.
Mm-hmm.
Like as a man, when you say, babe, stop nagging me, you know what you're going to do? Your wife's going to shut up.
Yeah.
She's not going to fight you. She's going to shut up. She's going to stop protecting you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened. She fought. And then she saw that honestly, like I was like going this way, and she was like, okay, fine. Let him learn. And guess what? I did. And then she was the one that said, you better tell the truth now. Now you screwed that up. Now you're going to tell the truth. And the truth was the only thing that set me free from not going to jail.
Wow.
And so I always say the truth will set you free. But then when on top of that, did everything change?
Yeah.
When? And if you're lucky enough to have a person like this in your life, what I know is that there's someone, John, that doesn't tell you what you want to hear. They tell you what you need to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And we hate that person, honestly, most times. When that person tells us this, we're like, man, screw you, dude. You know, if you've ever gotten good results in life, right?
Yeah.
It was always from the coach that was the hardest on you, that didn't take any crap, that didn't care how you felt, that didn't take it easy on you, and they demanded results. Yeah. And guess what? And you got them, but you hated that guy. Yeah. But later in life, when you're given the shout outs, they're like, how did you make it? You're like, Well, Coach Johnson, man, you know, if I didn't touch the line, he'd run me for 5 hours after practice. And I hated him, man. Honestly, I'm going to tell you, you know, I loved Coach Jacob. Coach Jacob, if I didn't touch the line, you know what he would say? Doesn't matter, guys. Let's go get back in the locker room and go have a beer.
Yeah.
Dude, thank God that guy was there to grind me. And so if you ever get lucky enough to have that person in your life that'll give you the cold, hard truth, I call it this, cold, hard truth.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? That means most people will feed your ice cream like a 2, 3, 4, and 5-year-old, make you feel good.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, John, yeah, you look good. You're in good shape. And then you got the guy who walks up and goes, John, you look like crap.
Yeah.
And you're like, bro, I've been working out every day. And he's like, don't look like it.
Yep.
And you're like, dude, what's your problem?
Yep.
And he's like, dude, I just see your body and your frame. I think you could look way better than this.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone else is like, oh, John, you look great.
Mm-hmm.
Those people aren't going to get you to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
That guy is like, John doesn't look like it, man.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to the gym, you must be playing on your phone. And you know what? You go back in that gym the next day and you're thinking about that guy in your head.
Yeah.
And you're like, bro, wait till you see me in freaking 90 days, man. And like that guy, Tim Grover, when he coached Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, he poked at them every day. He didn't say, man, Kobe, you're in the NBA, brother. You understand? You're the top 1%.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yep.
You know what he said? He goes, there's someone out there right now that's shooting more balls than you.
Yep.
And because you won the last game, you know what? You need to lose, man.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's out there right now and they want what you want and they want you to lose and they want to watch you lose.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you better play harder, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, you're going to get a loss soon. It's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And when you taste it, it's going to be nasty.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to keep winning, you better play harder because right now I see you letting down.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, yes, that's a person that sees potential in you and they press it out of you. So this person to me is my wife.
Well, usually it is for like somebody that's married, right? It's usually your spouse, the one
but
telling
we don't
you,
listen to her.
That's true.
That's the deal. Like no one listens to their spouse. And the reason why, dude, this is the way it works every day. So I have a big coaching company. We train 500,000 people, okay, on our coaching platform. A man will come into the coaching program and literally I'll tell him what to do. And he'll be like, dude, I'm going to change my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? He will.
Mm-hmm.
But then his wife will be like, dude, I've been telling you for this for 10 years. You go to this event this weekend and this guy tells you this thing. I've been telling you for 10 years. And he'll be like, babe, you didn't tell me that.
It's true.
Watch. That's when the women got to be like, hey, okay, wait a minute. God sent this person to deliver that message to my husband. Bottom line is that it's happening. Be thankful.
Yeah.
Hey, don't be mad. My wife, you know who changed my life? My wife. And guess what happened when she triggered me?
Mm-hmm.
I went to the internet. My wife, very clearly, I came home one night after she heated up my food about 3 different times.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm on my way. You ever said that?
Yep.
Hey, babe, I'm on my way.
Many times.
Yep. And then phone rings again. Oh, damn, I haven't left yet. Hey, babe, are you on your way? Yeah, no, I'm really on my way this time. I'm so sorry. Okay, so do you want me to heat the food? Yes, heat the food up. I swear I'm on my way. I'll be right there. And then you just, you finish it. And then it's like, your phone's ringing again.
Yeah.
And you look up and you don't even realize it's an hour and 15 minutes later.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God. And you're like, I'm on my way. And she's like, we're not having this.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's like, I shouldn't have told her I was on my way,
Yeah.
but I'm such an idiot, right? And so this night she had enough. And I come home and she lays it out there. And she was dead right.
Yeah.
She said, hey, me and the kids learned to live without you. Like we live without you. Like you're in the pictures. You're here on Sunday, and I love that. You come home at 11 at night.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. But you're not here. Your mind's not mentally here. When you're here, you're still on your phone. You're still thinking about being at work. You're still at work. You're not here. Like we are living our own life. You love the kids. I don't doubt that, but you don't even know what they're interested in. Me and you been together. We're sleeping in the same bed. We're miles apart. These things are affecting my intimacy. They're affecting my physical health. They're affecting my happiness. But I don't know that because lost people don't know they're lost. And I was lost. And I'm just like, man. And my wife, when she told me this, like, hey, we've learned to live without you. First thing I'm thinking is, okay, mom left when I was 2. Had no one ever believe in me. I've pulled this off. I'm making $2 million a year now. And you're going to tell me that like I'm not keeping my part?
Yeah.
And my wife says one simple thing that sums it all up. She goes, I'm proud of you. You're one-dimensional. And I go, what do you mean? And she goes, do you want to be in great shape? Yes or no? And And to be honest with you, I always want to be in good shape, but I was always too busy to be in good shape.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, yes, you know that. And she goes, okay, do you want me and you, our marriage, to be on fire, or do you want it to be average? No, I want it to be average. I mean, I want it to be on fire. And she goes, do you want to be your kid's hero? Not do you want to be their dad?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anyone can be a dad, but being their hero is a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Do you want to be their hero?
Yeah.
She goes, because right now you're currently not.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't like this conversation. And that's when you know it's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. That's when you know that that's the one you need to have.
Mm-hmm.
And so when God sends one of these people to you to have these conversations, you think, thank you, God. And you wake up at that point. And anyway, she's like, you are one dimensional. It means this, as long as you're winning at work, you call that success. Do you want to be close to God? Yes. Okay. Do you want to look in the mirror and be proud of you? Right now, Andy, go in the mirror, strip down butt naked, and you tell me that you're proud of you. This is the best version of you at 39. Tell me. And I'm like, where are we going with this? And she's like, you're either going to be the man that I thought I was marrying, or things are going to change. Roger that. Go in the garage. I told you I had to get the hell out. I didn't leave the house. There's a rule, me and my wife. We don't ever leave the house. I may walk out of the room, which that's even against the rules. But I needed to go to the garage. This was I needed some self-assessment, right? Which is the only way you're going to change your life. And so I went to the garage, worked out for like 4 hours, like I was going to come back in the house, ripped up and jacked and prove it to her that I was the freaking man. But none of that happened except for I got sweaty, right? But I did feel better.
Yeah.
I shaved my head. I had hair at this time, right? So like if you add in during this podcast, your editor will add in an old picture of me with hair. It'd be cool to show people like that guy so they can be like,
make that happen.
Oh, that was him. Yeah. Yes, that guy was the one that was having that conversation. When you see this now, you're gonna be like, no, there's no way that you two are the same guy.
Yeah.
I know, trust me. This was the guy she was wanting. That guy was the one, and she either knew it's either it was all going to be like she was going to get this new man, or you know what, that was going to be our life, and something was going to have to happen.
Yep.
And my wife, you know, she's that hot-blooded Mexican, man. Like she's like direct, hard truth. Well, I went to the computer after I shaved my head, came back in the house, and I got on the computer. It was November of 2019. This is not that long ago. I mean, it was 2025 January while I was shooting this.
Yeah.
So I type in what does everybody look for when they're struggling? Motivation. I don't know. I think that's going to fix my problems. So I go into YouTube and I type in motivation. I never got on the internet.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're all over the internet. But at this point, I'd never been on the internet.
Yeah.
I type in motivation. Who pulls up? Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins. Yeah.
Dude, I watched this 20-minute Tony Robbins video. And dude, this is crazy. It's telling me well, he's doing his thing, right?
Yeah.
And I start feeling different. I start believing different. I actually start dreaming again. I was explaining to Joey, I'm dreaming again for the first time. And I'm like, dude, this is me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's not me. This is me.
Mm-hmm.
This is me. When the video's over, I go back to the old mindset.
Mm-hmm.
What do I want to do? Watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see it again. I need this thing to like play in my head so I can keep this freaking mindset, because when it turns off, I go back to the old me, the guy that's been programmed for 39 years with all these limiting beliefs and these insecurities and these things. You know, I can't become like that. That guy's famous. I'm not. That guy's been doing this for 40 years. I don't do that. This guy's a public speaker. I'm a car salesman. Yeah. I'm thinking of everything. After I got done, I literally sat there for a minute, and Tony Robbins made an offer, and he said like, hey, you know, if you're feeling different, if you're thinking different, if you're dreaming again. And I'm like, this guy hijacked my brain. Like, it's everything I'm feeling, he's saying, right? Which clearly is the guy's a pro. And he goes, there's this training course. It was this KBB broker blueprint, $3,000 training course. He says, I'll teach you how to, you know, start your new life.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was telling Joey, I said, I almost didn't do it. I almost didn't do it. I almost walked away. My wife was calling me to the kitchen, and I got up and walked away from the computer, and I could feel my chest getting really heavy. Like, I need to go back.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to fight it.
Yeah.
And it was like, I need to go back.
Yeah.
And I went back, and man, I just click. I just bought this training package.
Boom.
I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is that I made a decision though, that I believed that I was worth it and I was willing to take a shot. And I watched that training course over the next 30 days, probably 5 or 6 times from front to back. You know, they always say, and by the way, I didn't have time, but it's funny though.
You made time.
It's funny though, when you go to change your life, how, you know, you always have time for what you make time for. I made time for a new life because I made a decision that had me having a new life, and my wife, I never wanted my wife to, you know, look, you know what I realized? My wife for 5 years looked right through me. When I was successful, when I made money, she looked right through me. And people say, man, you got a bad wife. No, dude, listen, I'm going to tell you this. Money hides things. Money hides a lot of problems. I always thought if I made more money, I could just come home and it's going to fix everything. And you know what I was doing? I was carrying around like thousands of pounds of heavy weight, just burying. I would bury problems with money. You know, hey babe, let's go buy you a new Escalade. Yeah. Let's go on a trip to Hawaii. Okay, cool. That's cool. Bury. Babe, see how much I made? Look, check out the commission check. I know I've been gone from 7 to 11, but babe, if we keep this up, we're going to pay the house off, right? You said you want to get out of debt, right, babe? And by the way, I just kept running back to work. I ran from my problems forever. And then Jackie finally called me out on it. So long story short, guys, I quit my job. Okay. 20 something years in the car business from 19 to 39 or 18 to 39. Quit my job, had no plan. What was my plan? I was good at sales. Didn't have a job offer. I spent over $1 million that first year in self-development. People say, well, that's stupid. I spent every dollar I had. We actually ended up selling our house, which had about $1 million house in Oklahoma at the time. It was paid off. My wife's idea to sell it, by the way, not mine. I didn't sell her house. She sold the house to support our dreams, because for the first time she looked in my eyes and realized that she could believe me. Like I wasn't full of false promises anymore. And then dude, literally, we went in 2 years in the dark, studied, trained, rebuilt our minds, worked on our bodies. You know, I always say physical, mental, business, became physically fit. Me and my wife, we were sleeping in mattresses. We didn't buy any more furniture for this rent house.
Such an amazing story,
we
man.
weren't planning on staying there.
Yeah.
And you know what? My wife, you've been in our house. Well, you put solar in my house.
Yeah.
I got a gorgeous house. Yeah. Big pool running through the middle of it. You've seen it.
It's amazing.
Jackie, when we were sleeping on mattresses, she went out one night on the kitchen table and she drew that house on a napkin like she was explaining to you. And she goes, Andy, we're going to build this thing and we're going to build each other. And this is going to be our house. We're going to build a $10, $20 million house. It's going to be beautiful up in the mountains.
It's all about vision.
And you know what? I believed her. And long story short, just today, and we'll keep rolling, but I look in the mirror, I'm proud of me. So can you. My kids choose me as their hero, and my kids choose my wife, which are my daughters, as their hero too, which is super amazing because when I changed, my wife changed with me. The crazy thing is my wife was calling out for help. She wanted to be better too, but she couldn't be better because I'm the man, I'm the leader of the home. And then I rose and then she rose with me.
Rising together.
Yeah. And then, so she got in great shape. Now my daughters want to be like her. Now me and her, we're both on fire for each other. We're close to God. We built this big company and business based off doing everything wrong in our life. People always say, well, you must have had a really good leader. No, dude, listen, if you've been around losers your whole life, if you hadn't been lucky enough to be around winners, just reverse what losing is. And that will tell you how to win. Like you don't have to have a good winner, just reverse it, right? And so we reversed all the mistakes that we made and we reversed them to do them right. And then we built Elliott Army. And then basically we went against the grain. And I always say, if you want to be like everyone else, just do what everyone else is doing. And then I hear this all the time. They're like, dude, that guy's not normal. Do you want to be normal? I mean, I'm asking, do you want to be a normal? Because they don't make statues of normal people. If you want to be normal, right? That's fine. That means no one will ever know your name. There will be zero legacy. After you die, it'll be like you were never born. No one will ever remember that you were here.
Another word for normal is common.
Yeah. And by the way, I want to say this and then I want you to rip, but I want to tell you something. That's how my life changed. But it is so crazy to me how many talented people right now are unsuccessful. Why? Because they're afraid to step out, be different, stand for something, because people will say, oh man, come on, dude, that's not you. Yeah, you're right. That used to not be me, but that's me now. Okay. And so you have to get rid of it, which is the last part. We got rid of everyone in our life. And people always, oh, you got rid of everybody. Yeah. People are made to be with you for a certain period of time. Some people are made to be with you forever.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what, man? When you go to change, you know what that means? That means you've grown.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yep.
If somebody says you've changed, they should be like in a good way, like, bro, you've changed. That's amazing. But people are like, and when somebody goes, dude, I like the old you better. That guy's a loser, man. Get away from that person.
Yeah.
I like you, the old you better.
Yeah.
Shoot. Hey, man, when boys our whole life growing up together, man. What, are you too good for me now? Dude, that guy doesn't want to see you grow because he's putting boundaries and boxes on you, and he thinks he's got you pegged and you can't outgrow that. Yeah. And he's doing everything that he can to get you from taking that next leap because he didn't have the courage to do it himself.
Yeah.
100%. I'm telling you. So,
and then I'll tell you just to finish the thought on, great wives and basically rising together, when I started it was maybe about a year and a half in business. We were like, in a cash pinch, right? You know how it goes, can't make payroll, go to the bank. The bank says, you know what, you don't have enough cash in the bank. Obviously that's why you're here to get a loan. And they said, no, I'll go to another bank. We went to like 3 or 4 banks. All of them said no. So we're like, okay, what are we going to do? We're just going to close doors. And then started talking to different people. Anyway, find this guy, kind of like an investor, okay? He comes in and he says, hey, I can give you $500K right now. He wanted a 49% of the company. And my wife said no right away. And I said, babe, this is like God sending this guy to us. Like, the bank said no. Everybody's been saying no. I've been praying about this. And then
here's our answer.
Yeah, here's our answer. Come on. And she says, no, that's not the right answer. So anyway, a week passed. And
you're probably frustrated with her.
Oh,
you're like, babe, you just sunk us.
Yeah,
I understand. Trust me.
I'm extremely mad, right?
Her faith is a lot higher than yours at this point.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, because you think that was the answer. And she's like, no, there's another answer coming.
Right. Well, her answer was like, hey, get out there and drum up business.
To work.
Yeah, get to work.
Yeah.
We can make money.
Don't you hate that answer?
I did.
Yeah.
So anyway, I said, babe, let's just go to Miami because he's from Miami. He's like, let's just go to Miami, meet with this guy, and I promise you're going to like him. Okay. So we go to Miami, meet with this guy, having dinners and everything. He was with his wife, family guy. I mean, the front, right? It looked good, right? Anyway, long story short, I ended up, shaking hands with him and saying, hell, we're going to do it. Okay. 500K, whatever. We left that night and my wife looked at me. She's just so disappointed. And she starts bawling, not just crying, bawling, saying, we're going to lose our company. We're going to lose it all because of this decision you just made. And I was like, babe, like, I was trying to explain it to her, right? The next morning, she starts bawling again. And I said, okay, seriously, like, I was mad. In all honesty, I'm not going to say here and pretend that I was like, I'm going to listen to her. I listened to her. I called the guy and say, let's call it off. That's another thing that, a lot of people say, hey, once you shake hands, you cannot back out of it. I think that sometimes it's probably the right decision to do. You know, just because you did it and then you walk out of that meeting or whatever it is, right? And you make the decision and then you realize, oh my gosh, that was not the right decision. Right? You can still back out if you haven't signed a contract, obviously, Yeah. So anyway, outside the contract at that point. So backed out of it. But I was so reluctant and so mad. So I went back into, doing my thing and drumming up business and doing the things that I needed to do that she told me to do because I had no other answer really at that point. Yeah.
Go to work or shut it down.
The other answer, yeah, exactly. The other answer would be shut it down and that was not an option for me. So years passed, and last year I just found out, okay, this guy ended up being a scammer. Crazy. And just not a great business guy. He had the money at that point.
She knew.
Somehow she knew.
She didn't know he was a scammer, but she knew that he wasn't good for the family. And that's why I tell men, I'm like, dude, if you're not staying close to your wives, you're an idiot. Women have the most dangerous, amazing intuition ever.
100%. 100%. So anyway, that's a crazy story too. Yeah.
You and your wife might not even been together today.
Probably. You're right.
No, I mean, she'd have been like, dude, this is how he's going to roll. Like, this is like, it's not us.
Yeah.
Like, it's not us.
Yeah.
Like, she would probably never forgiven you.
Well, you know, you find a lot of guys that say, oh, yeah, I make all decisions. You can lead, but you don't make all the decisions in
your
the
woman,
house. Yeah.
If you have a great woman, she wants you to lead.
Yeah.
But also, she wants to know that she's a part of the journey with you.
Mm-hmm.
My wife wants to suffer with me.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to win with me.
Yes.
She's my battle mate.
Yeah.
You know, hey, I get it. Some guys got, you know, women that are like, I'm the queen.
Yep.
I'm the queen. Like, just, you go do your business and I'm going to be at home, make sure I'm taken care of. Okay, cool. I got it. You're on your own.
Yep.
I got that. But our business don't operate like that.
No.
Our women, they watch everything. Yeah. All we do.
100%.
And by the way, I like that. I like that accountability.
Oh, yeah.
She's made me great.
That's the only way, because you go to work, you know, and everybody's praising you. You're the biggest guy, you know, whatever.
And you go home and she ain't praising nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I go home. My wife's like, you get enough people that are nice to you.
Yeah.
When you come home, you're going to get the truth. And by the way, I do tell her, I say, babe, but you do understand though, when someone else tells me like a compliment, like I love that and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But that flattery doesn't do anything for me. Now, when you tell me good job as my wife, it means everything to me.
Yeah.
So like, also, you know, wives need to know that they need to let their husbands know when they do a good job. You know what I mean? But,
yeah, for sure. But also speak up, right?
No, if you want to make more money, your accountability has to increase.
Oh, 1,000%.
And so our wives have crazy high accountability.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And they never forget anything.
Yeah, and another thing with my wife, like she actually, I've told you this story before, but I think it's good that I say it here is, you know, both of us, you know, we were overweight, you know, we're like, went through our 20s, just got married, had kids, and we had the perfect excuses or the excuses to be able to say, oh yeah, we have this, we have that, work, kids, family, church, and we gained a lot of weight. Mm-hmm. So getting into our 30s, actually she wasn't even 30, she lost all the weight. When she was already, you know, in shape, I was still, you know, door dashing cookies, you know, chunk cookies, whatever. For 2 years, I was doing this because in my head, I'm like, okay, well, she needs to look good. She's a woman. I don't need to be in shape, you know? Mm-hmm. And then after 2 years, like she was so patient with me. She never once told me, hey, go out running, go out do this, go out do that. 2 years after, then I started.
Just a good example in front of you.
Just a great example. Yeah.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, I'm like, you know, let's say that you're a Christian and you want someone else to know God. You don't press being a Christian on them. You just show them what being a Christian is and being Christ-like and show them love. And one day they're going to be like, you know, I want to know who you know.
You know what got me too? See, just talking about being in shape. We were in a table. It was like this solar conference, you know, business conference. And we were there, you know, it was like a group of 5 guys, you know, CEOs talking about different things in the industry. And this guy walked by, you know, and he was definitely like way overweight. Like, way overweight. And one of the guys says, hey, that guy, because, you know, some of them were saying, oh yeah, I don't know how that company's doing. You know, they were wondering, right? And he says, that guy cannot even manage his own body. You think he can manage a company? That's what got me. Came back from that business conference and said, hey, babe, I'm getting in shape.
Yeah.
It's true.
That'll be the last time you'll ever be out of shape again.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's the truth. The building block to success, to winning, to a great marriage, everything, money, it's always discipline.
Yeah.
And
100%.
so, the little things equal the big things. And by the way, like, do you look like you make good decisions, especially in the sales space or even being a leader?
No, I think everywhere, you know, in every industry, it applies. You know?
I look at you and I'm like, okay, is this guy making good decisions in his own life? And before you even show me what you're doing or open your mouth,
before you even
I
open
can
your
just
mouth.
Look and be like, yes, no.
Yeah.
And that's my judgment. And
right away.
But if I look at you and I'm like, oh, okay, wait, this guy takes care of himself. Like I know how hard it is for someone to have a good body and take care of themselves. So if I see someone that looks like they're in really good shape, immediately I'm like, I know the discipline they have.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, so I don't have to ask them if they're disciplined. Like they've already answered that by me seeing you.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, especially if you're older like us.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, a 20-year-old being in shape's nothing.
It's not a big deal.
But when you're in your 40s, you know, or 50s, I mean, that's a different deal.
1,000%.
You know?
Yeah, makes a huge difference.
I love that, man.
So on that, man, just talking about, obviously you're very famous for like, talking to people about like, hey, six pack or you're fired, or what's the other one? Take your shirt off, right?
Yeah.
What do you say to that? Like because you have some haters because of it too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what do you say?
Haters are great.
Yeah, I know.
Well, number one, you're never going to find your followers without haters, because haters, they feed the algorithm.
Yeah.
So the more hate I can get, the more people lives I can change, right? So I'm hoping that there's a lot of people right now hating, because like all that's going to do is make more people see this, and so it'll get to the right people if we can have a little more haters.
Yeah.
So if the haters could just share this, that would be great. Now if you love it, sharing it, engaging with it, commenting, like that would be amazing, right? But like if people hate it though, because normally I've learned that people will watch something, they love it, and they won't do anything.
Yeah.
But haters will do something.
It triggers them. Yeah.
Yeah, because it makes them question themselves as a human.
100%.
And so they do something, you know, and because that makes them feel better about themselves.
Yeah.
And they're in this food court right now, shoving their face, with freaking popcorn and pizza, broke, living in their mom's basement, and they're in here like, these guys, losers, And so the six-packer you're fired thing came. There was a day that Jackie, which I didn't say this part, but there was a point where I was in shape when I met Jackie. I was in good shape. I was 26, she was 24. And again, if we showed a picture up here of what I looked like, I had big love handles. I was out of shape. I wasn't like obese. My mom and my mom's side of the family, they're 300 to 400 pounds, every girl. Okay. So they're just really big. So like I have genes to get big. Okay. That's why I got to take good care of myself. But my wife reached over one day and she did this to me. And this has really triggered my health. My wife reached over and she grabbed my love handle. And like it's like, if you grabbed your love handle, like it's like spiders crawling up your spine. It's a very uncomfortable feeling. Yeah,
for sure.
Donald Trump like grabs your hand and kind of pulls you in.
Yep.
Right? Like, have you seen him shake someone's hand?
Yep.
Well, one day Jackie's like, she goes, "You're getting comfortable."
Mm-hmm.
And she, after this statement, "You're getting comfortable." It's like, "John, you're getting comfortable." Mm-hmm. And then I reach over and I grab your love handle like this.
My bad.
I would grab it. And she grabbed my love, and she's never grabbed my love handle before. She grabbed my love handle and then she kind of pulled on it.
Oh my gosh.
And dude, I felt like this insecurity and rage run through my body. And I was like, "Dude, what's your problem?" And she's like, "You're getting comfortable." She's like, "This, you not being in the best shape, is affecting every other area of your life." And I just realized, again, that pissed me off.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, how dare her? But
yeah,
she's right, dude.
Yeah.
Like, the freak. And now if we take a picture now, if you take a picture on the internet with my shirt off, you'll see that she saw the better version of me. Mm-hmm. And so she triggered me. Mm-hmm. And that guy was born because that guy that I hated got triggered. Mm-hmm. So I went on this spree for about a year straight, where anytime I was in a conference or doing something, if someone wasn't paying attention, or they were like, and I'd be like you bought a ticket, you came out to a conference, right? You wanted to change your life, but now I'm giving you life-changing advice and you're messing around on your phone. Yeah. And so I would be like, "Hey, come here."
Yep.
And I'd bring him up and I'd be like, "You came out to this conference to change your life. Am I right?
Yeah.
Cool. Take your shirt off.
Yep.
Let's go ahead. I want to expose all weakness right now."
Yep.
Because you came in here, you're not paying attention. Let's go and take a good look at you. Let's take a good look at everything right now. Is this who you want to be? Like, is this the example you're trying to be for your children? Is this your wife's fantasy? If we brought your wife up here right now and we could look into her mind and we could see what her fantasy was. Is it this? Okay. Do you want to be your wife's fantasy? Do you want your kids to look up to you? Do you think this is it? Is this the guy you look in the mirror and you go, "Dude, that's a badass, mother effer. That dude's an animal." Or do you look in the mirror and you're like, "Dude, I don't even that's not me. Mm-hmm. That's not me." Mm-hmm. And so I started triggering people. And dude, this sounds crazy. And people are like, "Dude,
well, because some people call it fat shaming."
Yeah, dude, it's not fat shaming. My wife didn't fat shame me. You know what she did? She built a monster. You know what she did? She built one of the greatest leaders in the history of the world by calling me up.
Yep.
Not calling me out. Mm-hmm. Crazy thing. Mm-hmm. This is so nuts. Every person, and I don't really call people out like this anymore. That was kind of a phase I went through. Mm-hmm. But when I went through that phase, every one of these people that I called out publicly, that people are like, "I can't believe you publicly humiliated that person." Yeah. They all got ripped. they all got shredded. They 20x their income. Their life's on fire right now. And every single one of them come up to me today and say, dude, you freaking changed my life, bro. You changed my life. I hated you that day.
Yep.
I hated you. But dude, you changed my life that day. And so it was just a period, man. It was all over the news around the world. People were like, I can't believe this guy's doing this. And honestly, it's like different tactics. It's like, you know, like if you want to get a terrorist to talk, right? People use different tactics. Well, in order for me to get someone to change their life, I've got a bag of tactics. And I just know that if I can get under your skin, right? And I can piss you off, you're going to change. And so I've used some other tactics now.
Talking about
I use my heart a lot more now, but back then I was just really direct, man. I didn't care. But the crazy thing is that I never I never had one time that I did it that someone afterwards didn't go, thank you, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, people came up to me and they were like, dude, honestly, I was going to leave this conference and I wouldn't have changed. You pissed me off. And by the way, I want
pissed me off too.
Right, but let me tell you another thing, Jonathan. This is crazy. Because I would always put it on social media when I did it. Now they were publicly exposed and held to accountability. Right? Because like all their friends would be like, bro, you were on Andy Elliott's Instagram channel. Dude, he made you take your shirt off. Why didn't you punch him in the face? That's what everybody said. Why didn't you punch him in the face? Because they knew that I was right. I didn't punch my wife in the face either. Okay? But it made me want to punch her in the face. But I didn't because she was right. And then guess what happened? All those people, because of the accountability of other people seeing them get called up, they all changed. Yeah, so it was cool, man.
You're talking about phases, you know, like we all go through phases too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that was a wild phase I was in.
No,
I wear my heart on my sleeve a lot more now. I've got other tricks that I can get the same job done.
Well, the thing is that probably when you did it the first time, you probably had not done it before. You know what I'm saying? Like the first time,
I was thinking about what Jackie did to me.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
you didn't really do it to shame them or make them mad or anything.
No, the first time I did it, honestly, I had this guy that had this arrogant look on his face. It was an arrogant look. Like have you ever had an arrogant salesman?
Kind of like
and he's arrogant, that kind of elbowing you. And bro, I was like, oh, okay. And I don't lose. So I'm like, I'm going to break this guy.
Oh, okay.
And so I said, dude, take your shirt off. Come on. I mean, if you really want to, change your life, like take your shirt off. Come on, man, I'll see what you got.
If you're that great.
And, you know, and what are they going to say? I don't want to take my shirt off. Why not? Take your shirt off, man. Show us. I mean, come on, let's go.
Well, because I also think that nobody...
They all changed, though. So it was effective. It worked for a good period. And
that's the thing. Nobody can argue with that fact that it works, number one. Like if you look good, you're going to make more money. You're going to have better relationships. Dude. Like nobody can argue with that. And I think that's what triggers people. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Physical, mental, business.
1000%.
Most of these people weren't mentally there because they weren't physically taking care of themselves. And so that was a big thing, man. I've had millions of people walk up to me in a mall and go, bro, I lost 80 pounds because of you. And I'm like, I don't even have a fitness program. You know, that would be something you would say to a trainer.
Correct.
But because I've always preached, like, take care of yourself, because it was a big staple in my life. You know, a lot of people are running that same play.
Well, and again, like just going back to that phase, is like, I really think that a lot of people change for that, just like what you're talking about. A lot more people got the good side of it or the good side effect as opposed to the bad side effect. You know what I mean? And even the haters, I mean, you don't know. Like maybe they did change. Who knows? Because like you said, these guys, it's triggering them, right?
Dude, so I want to explain this to everybody real quick. When you're going out there and you're trying to do something good for the world and you're trying to change people's lives and you have the right intentions, in the beginning, everybody's going to hate you. Okay. But now there are a lot of people who will love you, but there's going to be more that will hate you. I have people that message me in my DMs and some are like, hey, you changed my life. You know, I look up to you. You're my mentor. The others are like, you know, like, hey, screw off. And then there's some that are crazy. And I love these. And they're like, dude, you know, like, I hope you die in a car wreck. I'm just giving an example. Like, these are what people say. Like, I hope you die in a car wreck. They'll be like, dude, you know, like I can't stand watching your stuff. You better not ever run into me in the street. Like all these things, and nobody ever responds to them. They're just sending their messages, right? And then one day, this is what thousands of these, tens of thousands of these. It'll say, hey man, I'm sorry about everything I ever said. I want to let you know that like everything you said, I used to hate it because it made me question myself. But now I know that like I'm called to a better life. I'm called to a bigger life. And I want to say that like, I really appreciate you.
Yeah.
I look up to you, admire you. And, you know, I want to tell you, I'm sorry for everything I said. And I want to be a better person. Those people that's what it's all about. Everything in this world is a right message to the right person at the right time. Yeah. Someone may see this right now and they're like, screw that. Well, you know, one day when, you know, you get a bad doctor's report and the doctor says you got diabetes because you're 250 pounds overweight, 100 pounds overweight, 75 pounds overweight. Yeah. Maybe you're overweight as a parent and now your kids, they've got diabetes because they're overweight because they saw you overweight. And you're like, God, man, why didn't I take that serious?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, maybe this will make sense then.
It's more than just, you know, looking good. 1,000%.
Yeah, like
it's health.
Dude, health is wealth.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, what good is it to go out, put a financial fence around your family, take good care of them, give them everything they need, and then die early? Like, I get it. Death's an uncontrollable. I get it. I don't get to decide when I'm going to die. Yeah. But I'm going to increase my best odds.
Yeah. 100%.
And stay as healthy as I can.
Yeah. So I'm reading this book. You probably read it too. Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. You know, Nike story.
Yeah.
And I guess that in the 70s, you know, there was this common practice for like corporations or companies and stuff like that to basically have like a good cop, bad cop. So basically you have a management, you know, like in the sales team, you always have the manager that's going to be the guy that's going to be, hey man, you can do it, whatever. And then the other one that we were talking about, that Coach Johnson or whatever, that he said, hey man, if you don't hit your quota, you're out. You know, that is what it is. What do you think about that? Like, and can somebody, one person play both good cop and bad cop?
Absolutely. I think putting standards out there isn't a problem.
Yeah.
I think let's say you came to work for me, John. I said, hey, John, my number one goal is to change your life, help you become great. But at the end of the day, like as much as I want you to be successful, I don't ever want you to do something that you don't want to do. Now, if you want to be great, if you want to be awesome and have energy like this culture has, if you want to make good money, if you want to have a good life, have a great leader that believes in you, well, then this is heaven on earth for you.
Yeah.
But if I come in and I have to babysit you, do you need a babysitter?
Nope.
Okay, cool. But if I have to come in and I have to babysit you, that's not good for me or you.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be babysat, right? And then I don't want to babysit anybody.
Yep.
And then I want you to be good to my team. Yep. And you want to have a great team to be good to, right?
Yep.
Well, you have all that here. So if I come in one day and I get that you're having a bad day, I'm totally cool with that. But if I come in, you're not being good to my team.
Yep.
If I come in and you're not working hard and you need a babysitter and I have to remind you why you have to work hard.
Yeah.
There'll be a day in which probably this company isn't suited to be the best company for you. See, I want it to win for me and I want it to win for you and I want us to win together. But we can only win together if we're in alignment.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's no good and bad. It's like, do we align? Like, do me and you align? If you came here for a job, get out. But if you came here to align with a great company, a great organization, with a great leader that you could grow in, and if you become your best self, make good money in, well, brother, then you're in the right place. But if any of those alignments fall out, then what I want you to do is that I want you to leave here and I will give you a great reference, but I want you to go find a company you do align with. And I align with people who produce, okay? I don't need people to come in here who are great people and put the coffee on. I just don't need that. I need people who are going to come in here and produce and be in alignment with me. And so as long as we can both do those things, we'll be together until we die. But ever in the event that one of those don't happen, it's right by me to allow you to go find a company that's the one that you need, because this one isn't that one anymore.
And here's the deal, you know, my upbringing is, you know, from South America, where like, you know, in Mexico, it's very similar, where like the owner of the company or the guy, the big guy, like everybody, like it's almost like they're like the guy, like they come and like you said, bring them coffee, all these things. It's like, it's a different culture over there. So that's how I grew up. Then coming and start my own business, I was like the separation between me as the owner and everybody else. But then when I met you, you said, bro, you got to run together.
Yeah.
You know, you have to like have that work-life integration. Yeah, that's what you say. So I started doing that. Okay. So when you're like, having dinner or Thanksgiving dinner
They all
or
come.
with your people, with your workers, team members, right?
Yeah.
People that work with you. I'm finding it, and I'm really asking you, man, I'm finding it a little bit harder to be able to, have those tough conversations because we're buddies. Like, this guy is my brother.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
But here's what you need to say is this. Number one, your job, a leader's job, a number one job of a leader is to continually sell the vision of the company every day.
Okay.
That's your number one job.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be me saying, guys, listen to me. Okay, I need to work on this company.
Mm-hmm.
I need to work on this company, which means I need people working in the machine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now listen to me. Can you hold the machine down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna be on the machine.
Yep.
I'm gonna shake trees. You guys are gonna catch apples.
Yep.
On the machine, in the machine. My job's to be on the machine. Your job's to be on the machine, in the machine. Two-way street. Entrepreneur, intrapreneur. We're all together. We all meet together.
Yep.
Now listen to me. If I'm not doing my job, does that piss you off?
Yep.
And if you're not doing your job, that pisses me off.
Yep.
And me and you, we need to have trust.
Yep.
Dude, I wear this bracelet. It says trust. It says trust right here. Trust.
Mm-hmm.
Without this, me and you have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And so when your family, I want to know your family. I want to be close to you. I want your family to know that when you come into work for me every day, you're going to become a better man working for me.
Yeah.
The other jobs you went to, they didn't care about you going home and being a better man to your wife.
Yeah.
They didn't care about that. I care about that. Is that valuable to you?
Yeah.
Is that valuable to your family?
Yeah.
Okay. When you come in here, I demand your best. You should demand my best.
Yep.
You should demand your best. This place, this work, this is going to be different than anything else in the world. But guess what? You've probably worked for an asshole manager before. Am I right?
Yep.
Remember you gave that guy all you got and he didn't care?
Mm-hmm.
I care.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not giving me all you got?
Mm-hmm. It's almost like they're disappointing you. Yeah.
Tell me how that works.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you have to get out to your people.
Mm-hmm.
There was a point in which you gave everything at one point in your life to an employer. And that ended up not working out.
Yep.
And now here you are with me. And I'm so cool. And I've given you everything you've ever wanted. But for some reason, you can't give me your best.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to be dark like that guy?
Mm-hmm.
Do I not care? Do I need to not care like that guy? Is that what's going to make you give me your best? Give me 110%, empty the tank every day?
Mm-hmm.
Listen to me. Don't mistake my kindness for weakness. Please, I love you. I love you. I always wanted a good culture. I always wanted great people to be around me, but I have to trust you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So never be afraid to speak up.
That makes
Never.
sense.
Okay.
So on that, okay.
But it's a learning deal though. But I'm
no,
just
for
telling
sure.
And you
It's
need to
not.
build more leaders though. Okay. Because listen, it's like, here's you. And it's not like you shouldn't be talking to them, but like here's you. And then you should have a layer of leaders that are continuing selling the vision every day to your people and that are helping them. And by the way, leaders don't necessarily make more money. Leaders are just leaders.
Mm-hmm.
They're people who want to lead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The twins just got promoted in our company to co-presidents, right?
That's amazing.
Well, but guess what? They had been leaders the last 4 years.
Yeah.
They didn't get paid anything for it.
Yep.
They had sales meetings Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the last 2 years with the entire company. Instead of being on the phones making more money, they were investing in the people.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're leaders.
Yeah.
And so
You're cloning yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but they didn't get paid more. And I think that's the big problem is that a lot of people go, well, when you pay me more money, then I'll start growing the team. No. The guy that walks like he runs a company, acts like he runs a company, talks like he runs a company, is the guy who ends up running the company.
Period. Yep.
Period. Without money involved.
Yeah.
Because those are the guys that me and you are looking for to run our businesses.
1,000%.
And then when we promote them, we already know they're going to kill it. They already have the respect of the entire company because they've been doing it. If you have to go in and say, hey guys, John's in charge, right? And everybody's like, oh wow, they chose John?
Yeah.
Clearly, John is not the leader.
Yeah.
When I said, hey guys, I'm promoting the twins, they were like, what's new?
Yeah, it's already there.
Like, oh, they get a title now? Because they've been doing it for 2 years.
Correct.
I just told guys, I'm going on. You're going to see less of me, but you guys are good.
Yeah.
Man, I've cloned me.
Yeah.
Guys, I could die right now. And this is my favorite thing to say as a leader to your team.
Yeah.
Guys, I could die right now. We're not going to miss a beat.
Yep.
That's what I need to know.
Yep.
I need to die. If I could die right now, we don't miss a beat. I'm ready to die.
Yeah.
And I think I could die right now and our company wouldn't miss a beat. Now,
yeah.
It's like we're building the Elliott Army brand, not the Andy Elliott brand.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
and the NT Power team is not John with NT Power. It's NT Power
NT
team.
Power.
Yeah. And so, hey, listen, all you got to do is this. Number one, you just got to sit down, make sure you make time for one-on-ones. Also, make sure that you teach your leaders who really want to be a part of this company, big picture down the road, to tell them that, look, don't wait for me to tell you to be a leader.
Yeah.
Like, start now.
Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, do it when there's no money involved, because that's what a leader is. A leader isn't get paid to do it. That's a manager.
Yeah.
Okay. And a leader isn't an on or off switch. A leader is, you're in that way in the community, you're in that way at home, and you're that way in the business.
Yeah, no, and I've been implementing that.
Yeah, I know.
And in all honesty,
You just
like
need another
it's been
layer.
working, correct.
Yeah.
And it's been working really well. Like I'm talking about the first part of it, like actually doing that integration, you know, bringing these people with us. And like you said, caring, because
you get close to them, it gets harder to talk to them.
Exactly. You're getting way too close, you know.
Just keep that direct. You know, ask your people, hey guys, do I always have permission to be direct with you if I see something wrong? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, constantly remind them that one of the powerful things that we have about our company is that we don't have to walk around on eggshells around each other, and we can be direct and open.
Which is what the majority of companies are still, you know, living in the 70s, right? Yep. You know, and they're still walking on eggshells.
Separation.
And there's separation, and they're not winning, bro. That's
why
growing.
there's HR departments. They call the HR goes and talks to the employee. Yes. There's no closeness. That's why everybody quits and turnovers to the
That's right. That's right. But that's old school. I don't think that's working anymore. Anybody that wants to win, they need to apply that.
Yeah, and there's going to be people that honestly, they're going to be like, oh, I don't like that. Okay, cool. You do it your way. But guys like us, I mean, this is our family.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just we're building something different. Hey, listen, there's a million ways to build an empire.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, and I think that we just align on building our empire this way.
That makes sense.
It's our family. I don't want to walk around and be around people that make me a lot of money that I don't like.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I just
I'd
rather not make the money.
Yeah.
Guy asked me the other day, he's like, dude, if you had 10 people in the office that you didn't like, but you made an additional $5 million a month. Yeah. And I'm like, well, I don't want to do that. And people say, well, man, I would take the $5 million a month. You're an idiot. I worked for 40 years around people I didn't like.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that no more.
Well, you know, the old saying, or that most famous one-liner I heard when I came to America, and this lady says, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to do my job. And everybody says that. It's like, doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know, you should come to work to make friends.
You're lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's that miserable lady that's hating on this video right now in the comment section. She doesn't like anything we're saying. So that's fine.
Right.
Yeah. But you're doing good, man. You're building something beautiful right now. I pulled up, his team's out there. They're all fired up. I mean, they're like a bunch of wild lions.
You'll see the video right there.
Yeah, but
they'll put it in here.
Yeah, but they're a bunch of wild lions. They're hungry.
Yeah.
I mean, I see their eyes are lit up.
Yes.
And they can only get that from the leadership because they don't learn that on their own.
Yeah.
They learn it from the culture. This is a hero-making machine. So you did a really good job, man.
Thank you, bro.
It's beautiful.
I really appreciate it, man. Really appreciate it. You talked about, you know, the culture, right? And just like we just spoke about it, you know, how to bring it up and bring it to be on fire, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember the first time I went to, you know, the Lion's Den, which is your office, and everybody just, you know, hustling. It just looked like a beehive, you know, like all these bees knew
like
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was really impressed. And I know that that's one thing that catches everybody's eyes. It's like, hey, how do you get this? You know, I know it's a lot of work. It's about integration, about a closeness, you know. But what do you have to say about leading from the front? You know what I mean? Because I've seen you actually closing deals yourself, you know. And a lot of these guys, you know, when you say, you know, working on the business, in the business, I still see you closing deals. So talk to me about that a little bit.
Well, I stay on the front line with my team as much as I can. So they still love they believe in me. They believe in what we're doing.
Correct.
And it's like you're the OG.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when you're around, it's exciting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I always make sure my face is around the office all the time. And I will get in on deals and say hi to people all the time.
Just to keep that edge, Yeah,
I mean, and I love it anyways. No matter how busy I am, I love our clients. We wouldn't have our business without people that...
You still do it, and I've seen it. Yeah, exactly.
But one of the biggest things that I've learned is that if you want to lead from the front really awesomely, then you got to have the right people to lead. And so people ask, well, how do you find the right people? Because that's the biggest thing is everybody say, how do I find the right people? Well, you build them, but how do we hire them before we have a chance to build them? Correct. And so I want to give you a little tip. I have 21 core values. Okay. And so if you were to come in right now, John, you were to apply like, hey, I want to work for you. That's okay. And I would say, I want to show you my core values. Can you look over them? And I say, hey, John, here you go. And I say, John, circle any of them that you don't believe in. I'm not asking you to believe in all of them, but I want them to look at them and I want them to circle. Watch, just circle and print off a piece of paper. It's a worksheet. Circle any of them you don't believe in. And they'll say, no, I believe in all these. Okay. Label them. There's 21. Label them 1 through 21. Most important, least important. Here's a pen. I'm not saying nothing, dude. And they're like, and I'm like, dude, don't tell me what I want to hear. I want to know, I want to learn you right now. And there's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. Okay. And then I do one more thing. They do that. And it gives me a good opportunity to see how they value certain things. Because all I want us to do is align. Okay. Then I have them all printed out, right? Which they're ready. And I just go through and I say this. So step one is take responsibility. Or number one says trust in God. But let's say I say trust in God. And I say, what does that mean to you? Take responsibility. What does that mean to you? Take initiative. What does that mean to you? Always be learning. What does that mean to you? Right? Like I'll go through, each one of them and I'll ask, I don't tell them what that means to me. And then you tell me, like, the reason why we have integrity is because integrity is this. And I'm just like this. Yeah, I understand that. No, I say, what does integrity mean to you? And it gives me a chance to hear people just talk. That little thing, what I just gave you, your core values, whether you have 5 in your company or 21, right? It gives me a chance to understand a lot of those things with them. And then I even ask a couple more difficult questions. I'll be like, John, so why did you leave your last company? And they answer. And I say, if I call your supervisor at your last company, what would he say about you? Can I get his number? Let me get his number. And I'll write it down. I'll say, I'm going to call him. I want to know what he would say about you. What are 3 things about you? If I asked your last team, if there were 3 things about you that they liked, what would it be? Okay, what if I asked the team 3 things about you that they didn't like though? Things they didn't like about you, what would they say? And I go through these little things. I don't say nothing. They just answer them. And so doing these things has allowed me to hire the right people, because if you're not in alignment, no matter what, it's not going to work out.
Correct.
And so that's how I find it, John.
Going back to liking them or not liking them. If you're aligned, obviously you're going to come to work and you're going to like them because you're aligned.
So I use the core value list.
That makes sense. I love it. That's amazing.
It's a great way to do it.
Well, let's go through a really quick rapid fire questions, and then we'll just end with this, man.
Let's go, baby.
All righty.
Whatever you got.
All righty. So number 1, this is related to sales. So number 1, cold calls or warm leads?
Well, obviously, who doesn't like a hot end market lead? I mean, who doesn't like a hot end market lead?
But the question is, like, how do you get them, right?
Yeah. So if I can get a warm end market lead, I'm good. But I'm also not afraid of a cold call, especially if I'm prepared and trained.
Perfect. Morning meetings or late night strategy sessions?
Well, no, late night strategy sessions are great. And then we do morning meetings, but they're only 5 minutes. Yeah. Anything more than a 5-minute meeting is useless unless it's training.
In the morning. Got it.
Yep. There's meetings and then there's time to train.
Got it.
Yeah. And by the way, time to train without role play isn't training. People listening to somebody talk for an hour, to me, in my mind, that's not training.
Yeah, that's not training.
Yeah. And if there's no engagement, there's no growth.
Perfect. Biggest deal you've ever closed in dollars?
Man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, $500,000 deal.
Boom.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, not in the automotive industry. I mean, I think the biggest, I think the biggest,
all across your career.
Yeah. Maybe $500,000. In the automotive industry, I remember one time I made like a $28,000 commission, which is just crazy.
Just for one vehicle?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is unheard of.
Yeah.
But it was just very rare.
Yeah.
you know, but about $500,000 in our industry. It's a good deal.
Got it. One word to describe your sales team. Just one word. No cheating.
Man, there's so many words. It's like almost unfair because whatever I say,
it is unfair. It is unfair.
When I'm done, I'm gonna be like, man,
that's what's rapid fire, bro.
Yeah. Honestly, dude, one word is just unity.
Unity.
We're just
beautiful. I love it. Yeah,
we're all one.
I love that. Favorite sales tool or app? It could be any app that you think that really helps salespeople.
Probably the ETA, Elliott Trading Academy app.
Let's go.
My sales training app.
Let's go. Amazing. Closing a deal is an art or a science?
It's art, 100%. Dude, listen, you can say it's a science, but at the end of the day, if a person isn't liked by the customer, that science can go right down the toilet.
Yep.
I can come to your door and educate you, but if I don't make you feel important, if I don't make you feel significant, if I don't make you feel like you matter, guess what, man? It's just information at the end of the day. People got to be in a buying state to buy something.
It's an emotional decision.
Yeah. It's emotional first, logic second. So I think that like the science part of the logic part comes in second, but I think the emotional side of making connection, which is human beings, how we work, is first. So I think people have to like you. It's really hard for me to believe that someone is going to buy from someone they don't like.
Got it.
Unless it was like, I'll give you this watch. It's $30,000. I'll give it to you for $500.
Yeah.
Okay. You're an asshole. I'll buy the watch though.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I get that.
Yeah.
But like if it's a good deal, like if you're really going to sell something,
that's not at that point. That's not even science. It's like a lay down, like you said. Yeah.
But I think, I mean, listen, dude, there's sales trainers that are like science. Those guys are losers. Okay. I'm just telling you, they're losers. All right. They never done anything.
But a quick question is not here, but could you teach that art to somebody else?
Oh yeah.
Anybody?
Anything that someone can do as a skill can be taught.
Okay. Like if somebody could confuse art with talent, right? And if you don't have that talent.
No, the art is, how to have body language.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
tonality, how to look at you in the eyes.
How to connect.
Yeah, how to connect. I mean, how to compliment you.
Build rapport.
Yeah, it's what links me and you together. I mean,
yeah, correct.
Just like that's art, right? That's the art of sales. And a lot of people aren't passionate about it. They want to believe that there's not an art to it, so they don't have to train and study. When matter of fact, dude, when you're going into high pressure situations to close big deals and solve big problems, you bet your butt there's a freaking art going into that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an art to you proposing an illustration of this, $300,000
like a Broadway play.
Riff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much my solar deal was with you. How much was it? A couple $100,000?
Yeah, a couple hundred.
I mean, a lot of people they get $60,000 solar systems, $80,000. I mean, we spent a couple $100,000. Why? You did a good job presenting it. It made sense. We like you. What did I tell you? Why did we choose you?
Because you liked me.
Because we like you.
Yeah.
Dude, I got freaking 1,000 solar companies around me.
Yeah.
Every one of them tried to put solar on my house.
Yeah.
But we liked you.
Yeah.
And so like that just sums up the whole question.
People do business with people they like. Period.
That's it.
Yeah.
I want to give my money to people I like.
Yeah. 1,000%.
I'm going to give it to someone.
That's the case with everybody.
Yeah.
Hardest objection you've ever had to overcome?
I think the toughest one is I got to talk to my wife. I just think it's a tough one because you're missing a party. I think there's two things that salespeople really make mistakes on is understanding that there's someone that they miss that needs to be in the deal.
Yep.
Right? Because once you propose everything and that person wasn't present, it makes it really hard because there's always, and even if you close it, they could feel buyer's remorse and then back out of it. Or they miss something in the deal. So, I mean, I think I got to talk to my wife. I'm not telling you that I can't give you 30 ways to overcome it. But it's just one of the most toughest ones that us salespeople deal with. Yeah. Because I can't look, you're here right now. I've got this great thing, but your wife's not here.
Yeah.
I can tell you a million tricks we can do to get her to participate not being here by technology, phone, Zoom, calls, all this. I could try to pressure you into saying, I mean, if your wife found out that you did this thing and it saved you money, would she be mad at you? No. I mean, are you kidding me? She'd probably be mad at you if you didn't do it. I could go into all that, but honestly, the toughest one is her just not being here because she's just not here.
Do you go down the path once you know it's a one-legged, right? You get into discovery, you know that this guy is married. Do you go down the path of like trying to close him or?
I think it's a simple question. I think, look, hey, if your wife knew that you had an opportunity to be inflation proof and save money, if she knew that, okay, and you told her, babe, I did this thing and it ended up allowing us to be inflation proof and save money, you know what I'm saying? I mean, would she be mad at you making that decision without her, even though it was a good one?
Yep.
No, she would definitely be mad at me. Okay, well, number one, we don't want her mad at you.
No.
Number two, she is going to be very happy about this, but you just answered the question that she needs to be a part of that, and I respect that.
Yep.
So let's set up a time when she can be here.
Beautiful.
I like that better. I mean, not only for you, but I want to meet her as well.
Yeah.
Dude, you don't want to push that line because you're going to lose it. He's going to get all your cards and he's going to beat your deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
1000%. Best way to celebrate hitting a sales goal, monthly, yearly, whatever.
I like taking people to dinner. I think it's important. Well, number one, company recognition is a big one. Everybody loves recognition. If they tell you they don't, look, people think people love money. You know what people love more than money? They love recognition. Company-wide recognition. And then saying, hey, you know what? I saw what you did. Number one, great job, and you're going to get the commission for that. But me and my wife want to take you and your wife to dinner. We're proud of you, man. I want to spend more time with you. That was cool. Dude, that's more than me saying, hey, here's $10,000. Oh, dude, like me showing you love for an hour. By the way, that bonds our loyalty even further.
Correct.
Yeah.
I love that.
So company recognition is huge, though. Everybody loves to be shouted out.
Would you rather hit a quota early or win sales rep of the month?
What's the difference?
I don't know.
Like hit a quota early and quit?
Well, I guess hit a quota early. Exactly.
Yeah. No, I'm a winner, bro. I'm a record breaker.
Yeah.
So whatever anyone did, I've got to do it better. And then also, if I win and I'm the winner or I'm the top, over my dead body, am I going to let somebody beat me? And listen, a loss is more valuable than a win.
Yeah.
And so I just told you, over my dead body, am I going to let someone beat me? That's a winner mentality.
Yep.
I get beat just like everyone else.
Yeah. And
when I do, it pisses me off.
Yeah.
And so, like that, I never want to get beat. I never want my company to lose. It really bothers me. Yeah. And I think those are the winners, the people that they just never fall out of love with being the best.
Amazing. Well, Andy, thank you so much for being here, bro.
You bet, bro.
It's been amazing.